What's going on, everybody? Okay, it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I have been almost dying to crack into this Czech Republic Meal4Real ration. I've never been able to get one of their BDPs, and they've even got a really neat canned ration that I saw on Mulchin U2's channel. They've got it's a can one called a KDP. So this is as close as I've ever seen, and in fact, my good mate from Australia, Bushmaster, sent this to me. So, okay, let's crack into this thing. Oh, and just so I can point that out, the expiration on this is March 31st, 2017. Okay, just got my standy little knife I always carry around in my pocket. Nothing too fancy or special. Right off the bat, the contents box looks quite a bit like you would get in one of the civilian type IRPs. Oh, we got some spoilage. Oh, that's disappointing. Maybe it's just smells like honey. Maybe it was the honey that died. Oh, that kind of pisses me off, but it is what it is. Okay, like an antibacterial wipe, which thank God I'm gonna be needing. This is all gunked up. Oh man, finally get one of these things and it's roached. What is it? Oh man, it's all complete. Yes, the honey totally burst. So, well, honey really doesn't go bad. They found jars of this from in ancient Egypt. So, that sucks. So, of course, we've got some tuna in oil, the Isabel brand. Here's a chemical heater or a flameless ration heater with the directions, of course. So like two chocolate bar kind of things. And from talking with somebody in that part of the world, you can also put these in liquid and make like a hot chocolate drink out of those. It looks like we have little two strawberry jams. This is all so sticky. It's disappointing. I don't know, it's hard to read what some of this stuff is. It's little briquettes of gum. Whew. Sugar. There's a multivitamin drink. You have two drinks. Oh man, this is just all... Boy, I should have sent this to Steve. Steve loves this stuff. Here's 3 more packs of sugar. This poor can has seen better days. A little bulgy there. Let's see if I can try to find it. A date on this thing. I don't see any, even though like in the IRP ones you'll have a date, but you got me. I'm not seeing anything. So we've got that, and what is this? It's not listed in the, oh yeah it is, pork and its own juice. This is the pork. Alright, we've got that. What lovely goodness do we have here? These feel like little pills. I couldn't get a translation for that. It was something packed, soul packed, soul 8-pack. I don't know. When you use another pack of sugar, when you use Google Translate for your translator, sometimes it's pretty hit or miss. Kava, that's coffee. That might be hard to see on there. Oh, all these little packets are all just totally another pack of sugar. They don't screw around with their sugar. They got some English on the bottom, black tea, but totally, completely roached. Another pack of sugar. They do not screw around with their sugar. What the? I don't know. This doesn't have anything on it. It's gone. So it's either salt or sugar, I'm assuming. Oh, that's pretty good. It says lunch meat right on there. So this is probably like a spam kind of thing. But we have salt. Oh man. Another package of coffee. And another package of sugar. And then you have 2 packets of crisp bread. And it looks like there are 2 different types, which is good. And these will be like the, I'm assuming kind of like the styrofoam kind of crackers, or like rice crackers. So those are always good. And then this is a savory risotto. So kind of a risotto. And yeah. I think there was supposed to be some sliced vegetables or something like that in here, but I don't see it. So, man. And then, of course, the roached out honey, which we'll just heat that up a little bit and get it back into its natural state. So, okay. Well, unfortunately, I got a little collateral damage, but this is what you would get inside of a Meal4Real from the Czech Republic. So let's get this cleaned up a little bit, and let's start tasting some of this stuff. Alright, dogs are rocking and rolling. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, let's start off with the drinks. We've got the multivitamin drink, and we've got this Vital drink. It even has its own little sticker, where the other one does not. The only thing I've seen on any of these packets was 300 milliliter. So, yeah, that's what they're both going to get. So we'll start off with a Vital drink. Kind of smells like a strawberry or a cherry kind of smell. And again, this isn't a military ration. This is a civilian model of BDP. So of course we didn't have any utensils with it. So we'll give that a stir. And then the mineral drink, or the vitamin drink, whatever it is. Multivitamin drink. And I know it looks yellow, but it's not like a lemonade kind of smell. It's more like a mango or a kind of a peach kind of. Well, maybe a grapefruit. Grapefruit kind of smell is what's kind of hit me. And then of course I got the coffee and the tea. So start off with coffee. Just like dry roast, freeze-dried coffee. And then the tea, it says black tea right on the bottom. Oop, come on. Problems that you have when you get older, getting things in the hole. Okay. That's kind of a big mug, so we'll only fill it up halfway. Give this a stir. And we'll let that steep for a bit. Okay, let's start plating the rest of this stuff. First thing I'm going to grab are these crisp breads. You see it's got two different little names, so I'm assuming they're going to be slightly different. Of course, they're still covered with all that delicious honey. So like I said, these are very reminiscent for like rice cakes. For those of you in the States, like puffed rice. So here is, put a couple of those right there. And then we have this type, which, who knows, they're probably like exactly the same, but maybe there'll be a slight color difference. It's kind of hard to open these things up with the honey all over them. Yeah, they're a little darker, so just a different type. And again, they're really soft, kind of like rice crackers. Okay, and then I've got some of this chocolate over here. And there's two of these. Each one of these is 25 grams. And now I understand it's not oxidized chocolate. It's just that due to temperature fluctuations, it makes the oil change colors. So this is very chalky, very powdery, especially for a ration that was just recently packed. So it's obvious that kind of like our commercial MREs here in the States, that they use things that have been kind of laying around or overruns to put in these rations. Like we said, we have two of those. So we might open up the other one just to see if there is a difference. Two strawberry jams. And I'm pretty sure everybody will be, oh, well, already got a fail. It says, I don't want to be opened. So, but you will be opened. So, a little bit of that. Set that right there. And again, the accursed honey that leaked everywhere. While I was cooking the mains, I put in a little double boiler, so it's not crystallized anymore. See if we can find the opening for this. Of course, there's a little pinhole opening on the top, which leaked everywhere. So, it hasn't quite all the way got viscous. It's still a little crystallized, but then again, I'm kind of partial to those little crystals in there. I believe these are like the little gum pieces, the vitamin gum. Oh, this stuff is so incredibly sticky. And there's no little tear notch on this either. I know one of these has these little discs, and the other one has like the vitamin gum. So obviously that is the gum, I am assuming. And this one, whatever this is, because this bottom word is sugar. So you got me. I guess we'll find out together what exactly it is that is in here. Now there's these tablets. I don't know if these are supposed to be like for sugar tablets that you eat them on the run, or if they're, I don't know, if they're milk that you put them in your tea. I don't know. I just don't know. And there's not really any videos or anything out there that explain what this kind of BDP is, at least that I can understand. I know Mulchin did a review, but I don't understand Russian. So you can see the date on the tuna, maybe. So it looked like this Isabel tuna was nice and fresh, even though the honey sort of destroyed the packaging. So again, there's the inside date. We all know I love my ring poles. And this is just simply just tuna and honey. Oop. So there you go. I mean tuna and honey. Tuna and oil. So tuna and honey. That would be an interesting flavor combination, especially seeing how now I've got the oil on the bloody chocolate. Yeah. Okay. Okay, along with that, I've got a couple packs of sugar. Ended up having 8 packs. And I've got some salt on standby. Gonna have another one of these. And my moist towelette that I will definitely be using for this review. Now, I've got the lunch meat. I chose not to use this heated but room temperature. So, well, maybe it might have been a good idea to heat that up, but who knows. It still smells pretty darn good. It's just got a lot of its the grease in there and the fat for the preservative, because these rations aren't really designed to last, you know, as long as like MREs are. You know, you eat them and done. I don't really know what you would use this for. I know you would use it for the mains, but it's just been my experience with these foil packages that they don't last long enough to heat all the way through. The best way how to cook these foil ones is actually by boiling. So I don't know. So we've got this one, which is it's the pork in its juice or sauce. And then we've got the risotto. So let me clear this stuff out of here. See if I can find a little pull tab. Now I usually use a knife when I do this, because if you don't use a knife, you end up wearing this thing. And it is still pretty gosh darn hot. So take some of the risotto. Well, I guess we'll take all of the risotto. That's interesting. The meat is right down here on the bottom. So I guess it takes the full effect of the heating process. And then the pork. Okay, and now the pork in its own sauce or juice. So this might kind of be a challenge because it is all pretty much liquefied. And this is a very processed piece of pork too. Pretty much like this. I imagine if I would have heated this up, it would have looked a lot kind of like that. So, and then it still has a good ton of juice or grease or whatever that preservative was. So, okay, let me grab all the drinks and we'll get started. Okay, now while I got them when they're nice and hot, let's start off with this pork. It's a nice little, it really is processed, like almost looks kind of like Spam to me. Okay, the texture on the pork was really soft. I mean, it just like melted away. So it doesn't really have any bite or any give or any real texture to it. And the sauce or the juice really kind of overpowers the pork. So it's like a stock. Almost, to me, it almost tastes like a chicken stock, but I know it's pork. So, and it's got a slight oily flavor to it, but still, it's nice and hot, so it would definitely be a nice treat when you're out in the field. All right, now the risotto. Again, it's got some rice and it's got some little bits of meat. Looks pretty good. I don't really know what the kind of meat was. It's but the rice itself is pretty bland. So that would probably be a good thing to use your salt on, or if you wanted to pour some of the sauce onto that, that probably would help it out. And I know that if you eat it with some of these crackers, that is what gives it some of this texture, gives it that nice crunch. So take just a little bit on that cracker, and that does provide that little bit of texture that you probably need with this. So again, there's not really a whole lot of flavor. These are not savory by any means. I mean, it's just a rice cracker, pretty much. Very, very soft, flaky, and airy. And I know one of these kind would be probably used for, like, your breakfast or whatever. So let me try a little bit of this jam if I'm lucky enough to get it out of there. It's got a nice little strawberry taste. It's not really strong, not overpowering, but nice and mild. And just something to note, both of these crackers, they do have a distinctly different kind of taste, even though that the texture is pretty much the same exact thing. So try a little bit of honey on one of these things, and it did get a little hard again. So alright, a little honey on one side. There we go. That's pretty nice. And of course you can use your honey to sweeten your coffee or your tea as needed, if that's what you wanted to do as well. Let me grab this cracker over here with the tuna. Now the oil is going to be the challenge. There is quite a bit of oil, and of course you could always leave the top on and drain it, but everything that I have been taught is the oil itself is free calories. It's probably one of the best preserving agents that you could use for a ration like this. And the tuna tastes pretty good. It's got a nice nice flavor to it, so I happen to like that. Now the lunch meat, this might be controversial because I chose not to heat it because I thought it was going to be kind of like the other lunch meats that you get in rations, as opposed to all preserved in grease and whatever. So we're just going to take a stab at it. Okay, now it isn't heated up, but if you look in the inside of that, and you look at the inside of this, it is, come on, just except for one being heated and the other one not. They look pretty much identical to me. So that is pretty interesting in itself. Alright, so that was actually pretty good with them both combined. Different kind of little textures in there. So let's try this drink first. This was that Vital drink, and it's got like a very fruity kind of strawberry cherry kind of smell to it, and very surprising. It almost kind of tastes like a soda. It's got that. It almost feels like it tastes like it's kind of a little carbonated. I was not expecting that at all. That's really nice. I like that. And then this next one, to me it smells like grapefruit and it tastes like grapefruit. So hit or miss, take it for what it is. That's pretty nice. Yeah, it's almost identical to grapefruit. It's got that little bit of tartness to it. And then here's the black tea. That could definitely use a little bit of sugar. And it probably would have been a lot better if I would have eaten it or had it to drink not too long after I poured it. Alright, there is a little bit of tuna oil on here, which should make things kind of interesting, but this is the chocolate. Wow, even though it was all nice and white and powdery on the outside, it still really has, it's still very firm, and it really does have that nice chocolate flavor. So yeah, definitely a lesson for me. Just because it looks like that still doesn't mean it doesn't taste pretty good. And lastly, we have our coffee cup. That's actually not too bad. Just slightly bitter. Could be a little better with a little bit of sugar, but it definitely didn't need it at all. Actually, it's pretty smooth cup. Yeah, that could really grow on me really quick. So, all right. Well, let me get this squared away real quick so I can bust out my moist towelette. So let me wash off the hands real quick. Very alcohol smelling hand wipe, so I don't think they're using artificial ones. Oh, that feels so nice to get hands kind of unsticky. Now, I still haven't been able to figure out what this is. I don't know if it's supposed to be for a drink or what. It has kind of a, I don't know, kind of a, like a sugary, kind of fruity kind of flavor. And then lastly, the gum. I figured I would pop that in. Okay, everybody. This was a review of a Meal4Real 24-hour ration from the Czech Republic. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.